The Cardinals win 2 out of 3 to open up the 2026 season against the Tampa Bay Rays. They will now look ahead to their weekday series Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday against the New York Mets at Busch Stadium. Let's recap the games that happened on Saturday and Sunday. Cardinals winning on Saturday, losing on Sunday by a score of 11-7. Let's start with the Saturday showdown. It was really a pitcher's duel to start this game. It was Joe Boyle taking the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays, the young right-hander Michael McGreevy getting the start for the St. Louis Cardinals. McGreevy ended up looking fantastic throughout his outing. He goes 6 innings of no-hit ball. He walks 2, strike out 5, threw 96 pitches, threw 57 of them for strikes. Joe Boyle also had a pretty decent outing. Outside of a 2-run first inning, he gave up 2 runs off 3 hits, threw 6 full innings, struck out 4, didn't walk a batter, threw 75 pitches, 52 strikes. So outside of that 2-run first inning, he retired 16 consecutive batters to close out his outing. It was another quite good offensive showdown, the final being 6-5. The Cardinals were up 4-0 heading into the top of the 9th inning. The scoring came from Alec Burleson in the first. He had an RBI single that scored J.J. Weatherholt. Gorman then singled to score Alec Burleson. It was 2-0 after 1 in favor of St. Louis. There was no scoring afterwards until the bottom of the 8th inning. St. Louis pitching did their job. And in the bottom of the 8th, Herrera hit an RBI double, his first hit of the big league season. Herrera scored Jordan Walker on that RBI double, making it 3-0. And then Burleson would hit a sacrifice fly to center with 1 out, scoring Victor Scott II from third. That would make it a 4-0 ball game. And in then comes Matt Swanson in the 9th, a chance to redeem himself after he had a very bad outing on opening day. And unfortunately, the woes still continued. Now, prior to the game, you had Michael McGreevy only give up, he didn't give up a single hit, didn't give up a single run. Riley O'Brien threw a scoreless 7th inning, and he only gave up 2 hits, but he only threw 9 pitches, 6 of them were strikes. He had a scoreless frame. Jojo Romero had a scoreless frame with a strikeout in there as well. So you head to the 8th. The Cardinals had only allowed 2 hits up to this point. Matt Swanson gets through 2/3 of an inning. He gives up 3 runs on 2 hits. He walked a batter, didn't strike out any, and in just 20 pitches, the Rays had scored enough runs to tie the game at 4 apiece. Heading into the bottom of the 9th, the Cardinals couldn't do anything to match, so the game goes to extras. The Rays get a run in the 10th based off of the extra inning rule. Ben Williamson was the ghost runner at second base. Yandy Diaz singled an him to make it a 5-4 ball game, but there was no other scoring other than that. The Cardinals then got 2 on in the inning immediately with Nathan Church and a walk from Jordan Walker. Victor Scott II hit a perfect bunt down the third base line. His bunting has looked so good. A perfect bunt down the third base line to advance the runners to second and third. That brought up J.J. Weatherholt, and J.J. Weatherholt became the first rookie in Major League history to hit a homer in his debut game, and then in the next game, hit a walk-off. What an incredible start for the young Cardinal second baseman, J.J. Weatherholt. Cardinals win 6-5. The totals from that game for the Rays, 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. They left 5 runners on base, went 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. The loss went to Griffin Jacks. He was the one who blew the save in the 10th. For the Cardinals, 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors. They left 4 on base and went 4 for 9. A really good day with runners in scoring position. Ryan Stanek gets the victory. Now let's talk about the game that took place on Sunday. Sunday looked a lot different in favor of the Cardinals. The Rays were matching everything the Cardinals threw at them, and once again, pitching struggled to open up in this series. The scoring started in the 2nd inning when the Rays put up a 3 spot on the Cardinals. Johnny DeLuca hit an RBI double, scoring Chandler Simpson. He would then score on a wild pitch from Dustin May, making it 2-0. Yandy Diaz had himself a day, and it started in the 2nd when he hit a single to right, scoring Carson Williams, making it a 3-0 game. The Cardinals would get their first run in the 3rd. Victor Scott II scored on an infield, or reached base on an infield single to second, and he scored Jordan Walker based off of a throwing error, made by the second baseman, former Cardinal, Richie Palacios. So it was 3-1 heading into the fourth, and the Rays had answers. They put up another 3-run inning, and it started with an RBI double from, you guessed it, Yandy Diaz. It started with an RBI double from Yandy Diaz, making it 4-1. Then Diaz would then score from an RBI double from Jonathan Aranda, making it 5-1. And then, right after that, Cedric Mullins would double to score Jonathan Aranda, making it 6-1 in the fourth inning. 3 straight doubles. And that would be it for Dustin May after the fourth. Dustin May's line, not a great Cardinal debut. 4 innings, gave up 10 hits, 6 earned runs, struck out 3, walked 1. He would end up earning the loss in today's outing. In the fourth, though, we did see another good sign from the Cardinal right fielder Jordan Walker. With 2 on base, Jordan Walker smashes a home run to left center field, 415 feet, 107 off of the bat. He had a double in his first at-bat. That ball was 115 miles per hour off of the bat. My voice is kind of struggling here if you can't tell, so bear with me. But a 3-run homer from Jordan Walker makes this an interesting ball game. It answers the 3-run inning that the Rays put up in the top half, and it's now a 2-run game again. This time it's 6-4. The scoring would be quiet for a little bit heading into the 8th. The Cardinals had a lot of missed opportunities. They left the bases loaded in the 7th. They left a runner in scoring position in the 6th. Enough opportunities that clearly could have tied the game or could have at least taken the lead. In the 8th inning, the Rays put up another 3-spot, and it started with Yandy Diaz. Yandy Diaz had an RBI single that scored Ben Williamson, and then Jonathan Aranda right after that hit another single, scoring Carson Williams. Cedric Mullins would hit a sac fly right after that, scoring Yandy Diaz, and at the end of the top of the 8th, it was 9-4 in favor of Tampa Bay. But the Cardinals were not done. They were not done. They answered with another 3-piece of their own. And it started with Nolan Gorman, who wasn't in this game initially to begin with. He came in the 6th inning as a pinch hitter for third baseman Ramon Urias. And in the second at-bat, Gorman launched a solo shot, no doubter, to right center field, 443 feet. No doubter off the bat, 9-5 in favor of Tampa Bay. But the Cardinals weren't done in that inning. Pedro Paez comes up to the plate a little bit later, and he hits a 2-run homer after Jordan Walker got on base with his 3rd hit of the ball game, and his 3rd hit that came off the bat at 100+ miles an hour. Jordan Walker's seeing the ball really well right now, and he's hitting the ball exceptionally well. Paez hits a homer to left center, 418 feet, and the 3-run inning from the Rays is erased, and it's a 9-7 ball game. Chris Roycroft would come on for the 9th. Both bullpens very thin entering today. The Cardinals used 5 pitchers. They used Justin Brule. He had a very good outing. He threw 2 innings in relief after Dustin May. He threw 2 innings, didn't allow a run, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 2. George Soriano. This was the first appearance that we've seen from George Soriano in the 2026 season. He threw a scoreless frame in just 12 pitches. Matt Perchard had the 8th. He gave up 3 runs in his major league debut. He also got his first big league strikeout off of Junior Caminero, so at least there was somewhat of a nice spot in that. But Chris Roycroft had the 9th, and he had a very unlucky and unfortunate 9th inning. For most of the Cardinal pitching today, it was the Rays were just hitting them well. I don't know if they were just seeing things that at tipping pitches or whatever it may have been, but the Rays just had the Cardinals' number today. But when it came with Chris Roycroft, he found himself into a lot of bad execution, but he also found himself into bad luck. And when you combine those two things, it's never going to go well for anybody, especially these little bloop singles. Like, listen to this in the 9th inning. Carson Williams hit a sacrifice bunt. They did a safety squeeze. It scored Johnny DeLuca, making it 10-7 in favor of the Rays. Yandy Diaz once again then reached on an infield single to the pitcher. And I mean, this ball was like barely hit, barely. Infield single to the pitcher. He scores Ben Williamson. It was his 4th RBI of the game, and it was his 5th hit of the game. Yandy Diaz with a 5-hit performance against the Cardinals today. He was outstanding, and he almost had 6. The only times he didn't reach base, it was because he hit the ball hard, but it was a diving play by Alec Burleson at first base. Yandy Diaz could have easily had a 6-hit ball game. He was terrific today for the Rays. But that was it. After that, the Cardinals couldn't muster up much. The comeback fell short. And while this team did show resilience, it's hard to win when your pitching staff allows 11 runs over the course of 9 innings. The final was 11-7 in favor of Tampa Bay. The totals for Tampa Bay: 11 runs on 17 hits and 1 error. They left 10 on base, went 7 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Steven Matz, former Cardinal, got the win. He was actually all right up until the 3rd inning in his outing. He went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, struck out 2, walked 1. He gets the win in today's outing. For the Cardinals, 7 runs on 11 hits, no errors. Typically, if you have that stat line, you're going to win a ball game, but it was just not one of those days today. The Cardinals left 6 men on base. The story, though, and the big difference maker in the game, 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. There are some takeaways from this first opening series. One is the bat of Jordan Walker. There are positives and negatives to both games. One of the positives is Jordan Walker. He looks like a completely different hitter. A completely different hitter. We've been saying this ever since he had that first year in the big leagues in 2023, where he wasn't exactly living up to the full prospect potential, but he was good enough to at least keep his bat in the lineup every day, hitting 260, 270. But over the last couple of years, we've seen constant decline and inconsistencies from Jordan Walker. It looked like he always took 1 step forward and then 2 steps back. They were working on it a lot in spring. It was a big question mark year for Jordan Walker, and it looks like some of that work might finally be paying off. Now, I understand it's 3 games into a 162-game season, but you have to take this. You can't take this light. This is a very exciting side to see. If this is the type of Jordan Walker play we're going to get for the whole season, we're in for a pretty exciting season. Secondly, Nolan Gorman. Nolan Gorman and just the offense in general looks like they have a lot of pop, a lot of fight. They're playing with a mentality of, don't be worried to get up there and fail. Just go out there, give it your all. And if you fail, forget about it and move on to your next at bat. Because you're going to fail in Major League Baseball. Even the best of hitters fail 7 out of 10 times. And this team has kind of done a complete 180, because in spring training, at least at the end of spring training, the Cardinals had the 2nd best ERA in the Grapefruit League. I mean, their pitching was nails in spring training. Their offense was terrible. Runs were very hard to come by for the Cardinals in spring training, but now it's the exact opposite. At least when it comes to starting pitching, today was an exception, but Matthew Liberatore had a good first outing. Mike McGreevy had an outstanding first outing, going 6 no-hit innings on Saturday. And the offense has just been able to rely, even if the bullpen was blowing leads, they always, put their foot down, got right back up, and never got out of the fight. And that is something you like to see from a team that is the youngest team in Major League Baseball. And that is a fact. The Cardinals have the youngest roster in all of Major League Baseball. The average age on this team is 26 years old. And I'm not going to overreact about the bullpen just yet, because you still have solid arms in this bullpen. You have Riley O'Brien, who we know can be a very solid pitcher. Matt Swanson last year had a 1.94 ERA. He's earned his spot to be used in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. Right now, though, I don't know if I'd put him in the closer spot because of how he's struggling, but I would still give him the ball. I would feel fine with giving him the ball in a high leverage spot in the 7th or 8th inning. I don't think 2 bad outings to start the year are going to sway my opinion from him having a 1.94 ERA last year coming out of the bullpen. He was spectacular last year. And Jojo Romero as well. Jojo Romero has always been solid in his time with the Cardinals. He's always been reliable. You know what you're going to get out of him. He's always a good setup guy come 7th or 8th inning. Some of the other arms, Justin Brule had a great outing today. He wasn't really great on opening day. Chris Roycroft, not great today. Matt Bouchard, I understand it was his major league debut. Maybe there was a little bit of nerves. It was a 2-run game and he gave up 3 runs. Who knows? There's just something that, I don't know. Maybe it was just nerves getting to him, but we'll have to see. It's a long season. George Soriano also looked great coming out of the bullpen, so we'll see how he holds up over the course of a full season. And who knows, maybe at some point in the future, not maybe, probably, you're going to see guys like Quinn Matthews. You might see guys like Tink Hence get called up into the bullpen. Hell, if he pitches well enough through the minors, you may see a Liam Doyle at some point in the year. That's a long shot, but if he pitches well enough, there's a chance that Chaim may just call him up. I'm not worried right now. like I said, still a long season. And if the offense plays with this energy, now they're not going to score 7, 9, and 6 runs every game. But if they play with the same energy, this is a team to get really excited about. Let's look at some other scores from around Major League Baseball, at least on Sunday. The Astros win 9-7 over the Angels. They split their 4-game opening series. The Royals beat the Braves 4-1. They get their first win on the season. Seth Lugo picks up the win. Lucas Erceg gets the save. The Orioles start the year 2-1. They beat the Twins 8-6 in Baltimore. Ryan Helsley, former Cardinal, picks up his second save of the season. The Rangers beat the Phillies in Philadelphia 8-3. They took 2 out of 3 from Philly to start the year. Mackenzie Gore, in his first start as a Ranger, comes away with a W. The Blue Jays complete a sweep over the Sacramento Athletics. Eric Lauer picks up the win. Jeff Hoffman with the save. Kazuma Akamoto, a notable Japanese signing that Toronto picked up this year, he picks up his first home run, in a Blue Jays uniform. First career Major League home run for Kazuma Akamoto. The Reds win 3-2 against the Red Sox in Cincinnati. They took 2 out of 3. Emilio Pagan picks up his first save. The Miami Marlins sweep the Rockies to open up their season. They won today 4-3. The Pirates won their first game of the year over the Mets, 4-3 in New York. The Brewers sweep the White Sox, winning 9-7, and the Cubs fall for the second time against the Nationals. Nationals taking 2 of 3 against Chicago. They win 6-3 today. The next time the Cardinals take the field, it will be on Monday, today as you're watching this, against the New York Mets. Clay Holmes is expected to take the mound for the New York Mets. Kyle Leahy expected to take the mound for the Cardinals. The probable pitchers in that series, Andre Palante is expected to take the mound on Tuesday for the Cardinals, matching up against Kodai Senga. And on Wednesday at 12:15, the Cardinals will see a familiar face in Freddie Peralta. Going up against the Cardinals, Matthew Liberatore will take the mound for the Redbirds. Our next episode will be on Wednesday, possibly recapping that entire series and seeing how the Cardinals finish off their first homestand of 2026 as they then go on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers and the Washington Nationals. I'm Johnny Camp, and I'll see you all then.